Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Welcome back to the Fertility Dietitian podcast. Today we're talking about 4 vitamins that don't get nearly enough attention when it comes to fertility. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. These are called fat-soluble vitamins because they dissolve in fat and are stored in the body. Unlike vitamin C or B vitamins that you need every day because you excrete them in your urine, these vitamins are absorbed alongside dietary fat that can be stored for later use. And if you've been told everything looks normal, but you're still not getting pregnant, or you've had recurrent miscarriages, poor egg quality, low sperm quality, even autoimmune conditions, listen into this episode because there are vitamins. These vitamins are involved in almost every stage of reproduction when we're looking at the body holistically. Anyways, from hormone production to ovulation to sperm development, implantation, placental development, and even protecting your future baby's developing organs. Yeah, I rarely see them properly evaluated or improved before someone starts IVF. That's a huge missed opportunity. So let's walk through each one, starting with vitamin A. This is the vitamin that's probably received the worst reputation over the years. Vitamin A. Many women become terrified of vitamin A because they're told it causes birth defects. Here's what research actually shows. Vitamin A is absolutely essential before and during pregnancy. The problem isn't getting enough. The problem is when you're taking extremely high supplemental doses for long periods of time. We run into issues, okay? Vitamin A regulates more than 500 genes involved in reproduction, immune function, and fetal development. It's going to support healthy ovarian function and egg maturation, progesterone production, implantation, placental development, healthy sperm production, embryonic organ development, and it also plays a major role in maintaining the integrity of the reproductive tract, which means healthy cervical mucus, healthy uterine lining, and healthy immune defenses. Vitamin A is also a powerful antioxidant. It helps protect our eggs and sperm from oxidative stress, which is one of the biggest drivers of declining fertility as we age. For men, vitamin A is also essential for spermatogenesis, which is the process of making sperm. Animal and human studies consistently show that vitamin A deficiency reduces sperm production and impairs sperm maturation. So you're probably wondering how much you need, like how do you not overdo it, right? Women should aim for about 700 micrograms per day or roughly 2,300 IUs. Okay, we need way more than this to have negative side effects from vitamin A. Men need around 900 micrograms per day, which is about 3,000 IUs per day. The upper intake level is 3,000 micrograms or about 10,000 IUs from preformed vitamin A. Okay, that's a big difference. It's important to understand that upper limit does not mean toxicity. Published reports of vitamin A toxicity generally involve around 100,000 IUs daily for months or years, or combinations of prescription retinoid medications. Okay, food-based toxicity is incredibly rare, and the richest food sources are going to include beef liver, chicken liver, egg yolks, full-fat dairy, butter, cod liver oil. And notice something. Every one of these foods contains the active form called retinol. That matters. Plant foods contain beta-carotene, which your body has to convert into the active form of vitamin A. And that conversion is surprisingly inefficient. So some people convert less than 10% due to genetics or thyroid dysfunction, poor gut health, zinc deficiency, or just overall poor metabolic health. That's one reason I encourage nutrient-dense animal foods before conception whenever possible. If you're interested in the actual research studies that we're pulling this information from, they will be in the show notes for reference. All right, next up, vitamin D. Technically, it's a hormone more than a vitamin, but almost every reproductive tissue has vitamin D receptors. Pretty cool, huh? Your ovaries, your uterus, your placenta, when it's created, right? We don't always have placenta, but when you're pregnant, you have placenta, your testes, and your sperm. Vitamin D influences more than 1,000 genes throughout the body, and women with vitamin D deficiency have been shown to have lower pregnancy rates, higher miscarriage risk, and poorer IVF outcomes in multiple studies. Vitamin D also plays an important role in implantation because it helps regulate the immune system. And remember, implantation requires your immune system to recognize an embryo that is genetically half mom and half dad without attacking it. Vitamin D actually helps create that balanced immune environment. For men, vitamin D has been associated with improved sperm motility and testosterone production, although intervention studies show fairly mixed results depending on baseline status. It's another reminder that correcting deficiencies really does matter. Megadosing someone who is already sufficient usually doesn't. So the daily target, at least 600 I use. I don't personally use the RDA as my fertility target because it was designed to prevent rickets, not optimize reproductive health. So most fertility research actually suggests maintaining blood levels closer to 50 to 80. And for many adults, that requires somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 IUs daily. All right. But your lab work should ultimately guide your dose because you might need a fair amount more than that. Food sources to think about when we're thinking about vitamin D include salmon, sardines, herring. Okay. Those are our fatty fish, cod liver oil, egg yolks, fortified dairy products also are going to be supportive, and sunlight is going to remain the best source whenever possible. All right. Next. Fat-soluble vitamin is vitamin E. And vitamin E is probably the most overlooked fertility antioxidant. Its primary job is protecting cell membranes from oxidative damage. Why does that matter? Well, eggs and sperm are incredibly vulnerable to oxidative stress. Every inflammatory food, every cigarette exposure from air pollution, every poor night's sleep, every toxin, every infection, every bout of chronic stress is going to generate free radicals. Vitamin E helps neutralize them before they damage reproductive cells. And in women, vitamin E actually supports ovarian function. It supports endometrial health and blood flow to the uterus, all super important. Some studies have shown that improved endometrial thickness in women with thin uterine linings with increased vitamin E intake. And for men, vitamin E consistently improves sperm quality, especially when combined with vitamin C or selenium, which are other antioxidants too. Meta-analysis shows that improvements in sperm motility and reductions in DNA damage is also an outcome of increased vitamin E. Okay, so the daily goal is at least 15 milligrams per day. The best food sources include sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, almonds, avocados, extra virgin olive oil, pasture-raised eggs, or egg yolks specifically. Get the whole egg in there for the benefits, and trout. All right, and then last but not least, vitamin K. This is probably the least appreciated fertility vitamin. They're all, they all need to be talked about more, but vitamin K is probably talked about the very, very least. Vitamin K actually activates proteins that regulate calcium. And most people think about bones when they think about this, but calcium regulation is critical everywhere, including reproductive tissues. Vitamin K appears particularly important because it works alongside vitamins A and D. And these vitamins, just like all nutrients, don't work in isolation. They are a team. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption. Vitamin K directs where calcium goes. And vitamin A regulates gene expression. Together, they support immune function, hormone production, and healthy fetal development. Emerging research also suggests that vitamin K may support testosterone production and ovarian function. Although more human studies are still needed, it's pretty cool preliminary info. Daily recommendations for vitamin K are about 90 micrograms for women and 120 micrograms for men. Vitamin K sources include spinach and kale, Swiss chard, parsley, as well as egg yolks, Gouda, brie, grass-fed butter, and liver. Okay. Something that we have to talk about is the gallbladder when we're talking about fat-soluble vitamins. What if you don't have a gallbladder, for instance? This is a conversation almost nobody's having, especially in the fertility space. If you've had your gallbladder removed or your gallbladder isn't functioning well even, you're absorbing less of these vitamins, okay? Your gallbladder stores and concentrates what is called bile, and bile is released when you eat fat. Bile's job is to emulsify fats so digestive enzymes can break them down and you can absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Without adequate bile, you are absorbing less vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, less DHA, less omega-3 fats, less CoQ10. And even if you don't have a gallbladder, you might be thinking, well, I was told I'm still creating bile. And you are, but it's not able to function in the same way. Okay. We have a gallbladder. We're created with a gallbladder because our digestion and the breakdown of these fats to get the nutrients out of them is easiest with a concentrated amount of bile or that bile storage on board. Okay. And even if you're eating an incredibly healthy diet, if your gallbladder is not functioning appropriately or you don't have one, we need extra support to be able to get the full benefit out of these fats and the nutrients that are coming kind of packaged up in these fats. I see this all the time. Someone's, taking beautiful supplements, eating nutrient-dense foods, but they're still testing low or showing signs of inadequate intake because absorption is missing. It's a missing piece. And if you've had your gallbladder removed, consider working with a practitioner to evaluate whether digestive support makes sense and what type of digestive support or dietary shifts are really needed. This may include eating moderate amounts of fat throughout the day instead of one very high fat meal, supporting bile flow, treating underlying gut issues, providing bile salts, addressing pancreatic insufficiency if present, making sure you're actually testing vitamin status instead of just assuming. So, definitely something to keep in mind if you don't have a gallbladder or have a hunch that your gallbladder is sluggish, which is definitely a real thing too. So if you are trying to conceive, here's what I would do. First, I would eat real food before reaching for another supplement. Include egg yolks most days, really the whole egg. Make sure you're including the whole egg yolk within that whole egg. Eat fatty fish 2 or 3 times a week. Include quality dairy. Don't fear liver. Even one serving every week or 2 is one of the most nutrient-dense fertility foods available. Adding in nuts and seeds and avocado regularly is really supportive. Making sure you're eating your leafy greens every day. And definitely don't fear healthy fats, right? These vitamins require fat for absorption. So adding butter and olive oil or avocado to your vegetables actually helps your body absorb the nutrients that you're eating, okay? And next, make sure you're checking your labs. So vitamin D is one of the few vitamins we can easily measure. If it's low, address it before pregnancy whenever possible. Make sure it's not just 30, like at the very low end of normal. Okay, that's not supportive of reproduction or thriving reproductive health. We want it to be at least 50 to 80 is really what we're going for vitamin D. And next, think bigger than supplements. If your gut health is poor, if you've had your gallbladder removed, if you have chronic diarrhea or inflammatory bowel disease, celiac disease, absorption really deserves just as much attention as intake. okay? Because you can't absorb nutrients your body never gets access to. So I want you to remember something. Your fertility isn't built by one miracle supplement. It's built by thousands of tiny biological processes happening every second. And these fat-soluble vitamins help those processes run the way they were designed to protect your eggs and your sperm. They protect implantation and protect your immune system and support your future baby's development. This is why I spend so much time helping my clients build better biology before pregnancy instead of chasing the next trendy supplement, right? Because when your body has the raw materials it needs, it often performs exactly the way it's designed to. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who's trying to conceive or who's been told that everything looks normal but still doesn't have any answers. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Fertility Dietitian podcast so you never miss an episode. I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.